Divya, hi. Welcome back to the Big Move podcast. We are thrilled to have you back on the podcast. So, we had you back on literally 3 years ago. It was pre-pandemic life. I was in New York City, feels like an absolute lifetime ago. So, we have a lot to reconnect and cover with you today. We also had a lovely chance to speak with your amazing co-founder Lindsay Ellingson this past fall. Clearly, we're a little obsessed with you guys. So, we're just
Happy
excited
for
to
it.
have you. So thank you. Awesome. So I guess to back up and give our audience just like a little refresher on like who you are and what Wander Beauty is, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Amazing. Well, Wander Beauty is all about effortless essentials, things you reach for every day, wherever you wander. I follow you on Instagram and you're out and about all over the place. For me, I am a time-starved mom of two young kids. I am, constantly doing my makeup in planes, trains, subways, Ubers, you name it. Doing my skincare routine at the gym, doing my hair at my desk at work when I'm in the office. It's just, beauty on the move for me. And there really were no clean formulations. I know you take that for granted because you're on the other side of the pond in America. It's like definitely you have to read labels and make sure that you're not ingesting hormone disrupting or toxic chemicals into your system via your skin, which is your largest organ. The average woman's actually taking in 5 pounds of chemicals a year via her personal care and beauty products. So you want clean
Wow.
formulations, you want things that work for your busy, active lifestyle on the go and have high performance. We have color cosmetics, we have skincare, we have clinical results. We really spend a lot of time innovating in the space. My co founder, Lindsay, and I started the brand. We met at a party. And I love what I do. I'm super passionate about building and growing Wander, but I'm also an investor. I have an investment fund called Concept to Co, where I incubate and invest in lots of companies across the consumer and tech sectors. So I'm an investor in a lot of brands that you would be familiar with or that you use on your Instagram, like Topicals in the skincare space, Tower 28, which is in clean color, Bloom, um, which is really focused on Gen Z and hormonal skincare, and so many others. Hawthorne in the men's space, Bybee, which is in the UK, which you probably know, and
Yes, I've
distributes
heard of
here
it.
in Target. So I've got my hand in a lot of different brands. Shaz and Keeks in the hair space that's um, sells DTC in the US. Just really some wonderful brands, and I love working with entrepreneurs. I really am passionate about it. I feel like I learn a lot from them. I feel like we share a lot of learnings across, our conversations, and we all grow together.
Absolutely. And like everything that you just said, that's really why we wanted to bring you back on the podcast to really focus in on your experience as an entrepreneur, really a jack of all trades, of an investor. So we're going to get into all of that. But before we do, any life updates that we should be aware of since we spoke
Yes,
3 years ago?
so many life updates. So last time we spoke, you were living in New York. I was living in New York. I've lived there pretty much my whole life, my whole adult life, post college, post going to Cornell University. I love New York. Really feel like the city was incredible, incredible energy. Had two children there. And during the pandemic, I left Manhattan, where I lived on the Upper East Side, and stayed out in Long Island for a few months and had the pleasure of being in a house and not knowing how to take care of a house. I had a squirrel in my attic. That was fun. Couldn't get the squirrel out of my attic. That was a whole separate project during the pandemic. Couldn't get anyone to come to my house to help me get the squirrel out of the attic. And
Get
then
out of here.
no, I'm serious. Like it was surreal. And I like believe in the humane treatment of animals. I like didn't want to put any traps. So I was just like trying to find a way to like put food on the edge of the roof so that like squirrels would go there and leave. But they didn't want to leave. So
Oh my
I came back
gosh.
to the city when my kids started school in person again, which was in the fall after the pandemic started. And they went through a whole school year and I was in Manhattan and it was just really depressing and sad with, the pandemic and everything being shut down, obviously trying to keep everyone safe and healthy. And I had a place down in Miami and I came down here for a few days to just, decompress, do a little work. And I was like, I love the life here. I love the quality of life here. I love the weather. It makes me happy. It makes me smile. It's always sunny. There's so much to do here in terms of outdoor life, and I love sports. So I decided to move here. Kids moved here with me, and We're super happy and well adjusted in Miami. And next month will be my 1 year anniversary of living here full time. And fun fact, I have not been back to New York in this 1 year.
Wow. This
Yeah,
is I feel like Miami is the life too,
it's
especially just like
incredible. And
post-pandemic.
yeah, such a great entrepreneur scene here. So many companies starting up, a lot of activity happening in crypto and NFTs and art, and startups. So it's like very exciting.
So exciting. Is there anything that you're missing from New York?
I would say I obviously miss my friends and my family. That goes without saying, and my team
Sure.
for sure. But I also miss the food. What's great about Miami is like you have great food, but the variety you get in Manhattan and the variety of like street food you get and inexpensive
Mhm.
options and like really like low key food is just incredible.
Mhm. I can totally relate
You
to that.
miss the
Being in
culinary
London, we have
variety of New York and London.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But also, I just miss the like amazing slice of New York pizza and a great bagel. Those are the two things. I'm still on the
Yes,
lookout here.
yes, totally.
So I totally get that. In terms of all of your different businesses, all of your different ventures, like right now, tell us what your focus and your priorities really are.
So, number one priority, grow and build Wander. Wander is, going to have its 7 year anniversary, which is crazy. Super excited about that to think that we've, come this far in 7 years, growing and building that brand both domestically and internationally. In terms of investing, continuing to invest in companies that intrigue me and excite me. I recently made an investment on the sustainability front in a company called Super Zero, which you in Europe are familiar with, so many people opting to use bars instead of liquid formulations to wash their hair and their body. And I love Super Zero and their focus on sustainability. So continuing to invest in other brands and businesses, continuing to get smarter on Web3, and continue to have that be a part of my life. Like at Wander, we did an NFT drop, which is incredible, and I want to continue to really like get savvy and smart on the space and be a part of it, not only at Wander, but in my personal portfolio of investments. And I'm also working on something new, which I will tell you about in the fall because I'm still thinking through
Okay.
it.
Okay, fair enough. And I'm really, really happy that you brought up NFTs because this is something that like I eventually want to dive a lot deeper into with guests, but I guess to give like a little intro, like can you spell out in a really simple form like what the hell is an NFT?
It's a non-fungible token, and it's basically a piece. It's something that I don't know. How do I explain it? So it could be a digital piece of art. An easy way to explain it is that Damien Hirst, amazing artist from the UK, will do a drop of paintings and they will sell, but he will also do digital prints, which are available as NFTs, and you can purchase the NFT and hold that in your digital wallet. And the idea there is that you have a digital wallet and you hold digital assets in that digital wallet, and you're assuming that the value of those assets are going to continue to grow and you can trade those digital items. And so it's just this idea of instead of having physical goods, having digital goods, and continuing to trade things in the digital economy.
Okay, cool. I feel like that's a very digestible way
Yeah,
of
I
like
hope
just
so.
learning a little bit. Yeah, definitely. So you have had so many successful businesses throughout your career. Like, what do you think has been the main driver of your success?
I think it's hard work. I really do. I think entrepreneurs see things others don't see. They do things others don't do. So there's part of it is like seeing opportunities and also taking risks. But at the end of the day, you can see the opportunities, you can take the risks. It's the hard work that's the defining factor that makes create success. If you put your time and energy against anything, what do they say for professional athletes that 10,000 hours of practice makes you master? It's the hard work. Ultimately, it's like you got to pay the dues. There's no shortcut.
Mhm,
You got to put in the time and
mhm.
the energy to be successful at anything in life, I think, whether it's being a parent or it's being an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Do you personally feel like that's something that you've always been? Like, do you feel like it's been ingrained in you, or do you just feel like you've just been motivated like your whole life type of thing, and that has just come along with that?
I think it's so interesting. The older I get, the harder I work. It's very bizarre. But I think I work smarter than I worked when I was younger. So I think in you develop some like basic studying skills when you're in elementary school and high school, and then when you're in university. you really like put those skills to test. Your foundation that you build in your earlier formative years is put to test in a university environment because you're so distracted. You have friends and parties and social stuff, and you're like, do I really want to study?
Hmm.
Do I really want to get good grades? That's a choice. And those are formative years where you like develop your work ethic, I think, when you're in your university. And then when you have your first job, that's where it's put to the test. And depends on the career you opt for and what you decide to do. For
Hmm.
me, it was investment banking. So I think I developed that work ethic kind of during college and post college. So I don't say that I was a very diligent worker in elementary school. I used to come home. I used to have my, cookies and milk, or my peanut butter and jelly sandwich and apple juice snack. And then I used to do my homework. But once I was done with my homework, I was done with my homework. I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm finished. Like, let's move on to the next thing. Let's go play sports. Let's play outside with our friends. Let's go ride bikes. There's so many things I love to do. But I think that going the extra mile, working really hard, I developed that in college. I fine tuned it
Hmm.
working in finance. And then it really stuck with me for life.
Yeah. That makes so much sense. And I guess now, as a mom of two in sort of present day, what is
Yeah.
keeping you motivated to just like keep driving forward on all of these different projects?
I think it's my intellectual curiosity and my love to learn. Like I love to learn. If I didn't love to learn, I would be dead. Like every day I'm motivated to learn something new. Like what you were talking about and I was, mentioning to you is like, being in the world of crypto and trading Ethereum and, having a Coinbase account and having an Ethereum wallet. Like these are all things I knew nothing about. And my
Hmm.
intellectual curiosity has always been a driving force. And so I'm always ready to learn about anything and everything. And I'm a student of life. You can learn from anyone and anything. So I don't believe that, necessarily formal school training is everything. I think you can
Hmm.
learn at work, you can learn from friends, you can learn from mentors, you can learn from peers. And so I'm very intellectually curious. And I think that that's what motivates me more than anything else. And this love of learning
Yeah,
keeps things exciting every day. You never get bored.
definitely. And I guess so on our last episode, a theme that's come up for you a lot is risk taking. So I'd love
Yeah.
to talk about that for a second. Like what's the biggest risk that you took with I guess Wander Beauty specifically?
So interesting when you create a beauty brand, people expect you to have a huge assortment. They're like, how are you going to woo in customers? Because they may not like one thing. They may like your lip gloss, or they may like your vitamin C serum, or they may like your mascara, or they may like your cleanser. So, like, there's so many different ways that you can interact with a customer and build a relationship with them. And we took a bet. Lindsay and I believed that we would create a brand that streamlined your beauty routine, give you fewer things that do more. And that was a premise of the brand. Essentials. I told you upfront, effortless essentials, things you reach for every day, wherever you wander. And so we wanted to create the ultimate effortless essential that stayed with you wherever you wandered. So we created the On the Glow Blush and Illuminator. It was a double-sided stick formulation, lip and cheek product on one side, nude glow illuminator on the other side. And we could show you in a video how you could wear it 16 different ways. Use the illuminator as cream eyeshadow, use the lip and cheek formula as lipstick or as blush, or mix them together to create a dewy, beautiful blush. Use the highlighter on your clavicle during clavicle season when you're showing it all off. Put it all over your legs and have glowy legs.
Mhm.
Like there was just so many things you could do with this one powerhouse multitasker. It created so much value in a consumer's life. At one price point, you didn't have to buy four different things. You could buy one thing, you could keep it in your bag, travel with it anywhere, fuss free, foolproof, do it yourself. And we won an Allure Best of Beauty Award for it. And we really believed in our vision and we believed in the vision of the brand. And we said, let's tell the story of the brand with one product instead of having 80 products or 60 products or 40 products, because we didn't want it. We were like fewer things do more. And so if that's the premise, let's start with one thing. So we literally launched with one SKU. People thought we were crazy. It was such a risk.
Yeah. It makes me really think about just like my experience as a content creator and like trying all of these different beauty brands. I guess
Yeah,
now, being that your company has been around for many years now, like, do you think it's really important to like specialize in one category of product? Like, I know that you have amazing skincare and you have amazing makeup, but
yeah.
is there like one category that you sort of focus your energies on? And is that like important?
We started with color initially, and I think you have to build trust with the consumer before you switch categories. You really have to have credibility and trust. And when we went into skincare and we launched our baggage claim gold eye mask, which you're familiar with, they depuff, hydrate, and brighten that delicate under eye area. I basically call it coffee for your face. And baggage claim became wildly successful because we used small molecular weight hyaluronic acid, and we use aloe leaf to soothe, and camu camu extract, which is an intense form of vitamin C. So use great ingredients, have a real story. A
Hmm.
lot of our formulations have clinical results. We use 1% pentavidin in our dive-in moisturizer. It locks in moisture for up to 72 hours. Our vitamin C concentrate has up to 20% of our C-suite complex. So it's really going to deliver those brightening results, and tackle things like age spots, sunspots, hyperpigmentation, and whatnot. So really, you have to deliver on the results. It doesn't matter what category you're in, even our mascaras, like they deliver on results. Upgraded Lashes has a growth factor in the lashes that helps you,
Hmm.
grow your lashes, and has clinical data associated with it by using it regularly. So everything we do, we really believe in innovating, and we have real results attached to it. So I think that you can launch multiple categories, but you have to have the results and the data to back it up.
Yeah,
And the
absolutely. That
performance,
makes so
because
much sense.
consumers come back for performance. They'll buy things for marketing once, but they come back
Hmm.
for performance. And I have an old saying that newness drives sales. Newness, having new items and new SKUs and marketing can get people
Hmm.
to buy things once. So newness drives sales, but your core items in your assortment, those drive profit because it's the repeat purchase on those that drives the profitability of the business.
Totally. That makes so much sense. Like new buzzy product launches,
Yeah,
like they create excitement on social media
hype
and
and
marketing.
sales.
And yeah, yeah, absolutely. Has there been a hardest lesson that you had to learn as an entrepreneur in general?
I think the hardest lesson is knowing what you're good at and knowing what you're not. Being self aware is the most difficult skill for any CEO or founder. Um, People have visions and ideas, and they believe they're the best ideas and the best visions. And then you have to really assemble and bring and motivate a team of people to then turn that vision into a reality. And so you need to be self aware about what you're good at and what you're not good at. And I think that's the hardest lesson for people to learn is to be introspective and to think about what you're good at it when you're not.
Yeah, definitely. I have a few more questions just around, having a new business, having a new company, sort of trying to get it off of the ground. I guess for someone with a new company in general, like how do we know when to self fund or to raise capital? And like, where do we start?
I have a rule of thumb: don't raise money unless you absolutely need it. The path to bootstrapping is always an amazing path, and it can take you very far. I believe that necessity is the mother of invention. You figure out a way to do things when you don't have funds. And the second you have a lot of money, it's like it burns a hole in your pocket and you end up spending it on things you shouldn't. So, I really think that it's important to be a good steward of your capital. Whatever capital you have to spend it wisely. And so don't raise money unless you absolutely need to raise money. Like if you need money to fulfill orders, then you raise money.
Mhm.
So that's my
Okay.
philosophy on fundraising.
Okay, makes sense. And then I guess with time, say you are looking to raise money and you are looking to pitch investors, do you have any top tips, any sort of like investment 101, if you will?
Yeah, I think about what kind of investor you want. Do you want a family office that's going to be patient capital and evergreen capital that is going to be with you on the ride for an indefinite amount of time? Do you want venture capital money because you believe you're in a high growth business that is going to need a lot of capital very quickly, and deliver very high returns? You have to think about what kind of capital you need first. Then you have to think about what type of investor you're looking for. Remember, having an investor is a marriage without divorce until you sell the business. So you need to really like the personality and the energy of the person. You're going to spend a lot of time with them. So I think you have to do a lot of pre-work on what you're looking for, a lot of self-awareness, a lot of soul searching about what's right for the business.
Mhm.
Then you make lists, you target, you get warm introductions, you go on LinkedIn, you reach out. And then I always tell people to have an A list of investors they would love, a B list of investors they'd be okay with. Start with the B list first. start pitching them. Every time you come out of a pitch meeting, write down 3 things that you did well and keep doing them.
Hmm.
Write down 3 things you didn't do well or questions they had, because you'll realize that working with investors is like pattern recognition. Every time you go into a meeting, they're going to ask you the same questions. So you'll understand how to answer them and what to do. And then you can hit that top A list that you want and hopefully close a deal with one of them once you've practiced on the B list.
Fair, fair. Those are great tangible tips. I love that. And I like that you mentioned LinkedIn because, right, it's all
Yes,
about just making connections, right? And reaching out,
100%
putting yourself out
networking,
there.
network to get work.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know you're also an investor yourself. You have, dipped your toe in a number of different sort of ventures. What makes a good investment? Like what is something that, stands out in your mind that would like get you excited about potentially investing in a new company?
So when I'm doing an early stage investment, like call it a pre-seed, seed deal, typically it is people, idea, opportunity. It's always the founder that motivates me and excites me. Do I like this person? Do I think they have good energy? Do they have the skill set to execute on this vision? So it's about the people. Is it the founder? Is it the founding team? People is the investment in the early days, because the idea is like everyone starts with an idea, and the company they end up with is pretty far from the idea they started with usually. And it takes many ebbs and flows and ideations to get it to a place where it really becomes commercially viable. So I think betting on people is what the bet is on the early stage. People, the idea, and the opportunity, making sure you're investing in a large and growing market, and to themes that actually speak to what's going on in the world today. So topicals about inclusivity around skincare, super zero around sustainability, Shaz and Keeks around hair and destigmatizing how Southeast Asians feel about their hair. There's just like there are themes that are alive there and markets that are
Mhm.
growing, and those were the investment thesis for those investments. For later stage investments, when the company has been around for a few years and has traction, you're not looking at people, idea, opportunity because they've already built a business. You're looking for people, product, and distribution. Is Are the people there? Do they have do the leaders there have the skill set to retain and attract the best talent to grow this business? Is the product working? Is their product market fit? And what are the distribution channels that they're going to go after? So you're putting money behind a company that's achieved some level of success, and you're saying, okay, they had took a little bit of money and they had achieved a certain level of
Mhm.
success. If I give them more money, can they get to the next level of success? So you're putting money behind something that's already working at a later stage, and you want to make sure it is working and that you have a clear path to how they're going to grow. What is the distribution strategy?
Okay, got it. So early stage, all about the
People,
founder,
yeah,
all
people,
about the
idea,
story.
opportunity. And later
Okay,
stage,
okay,
people, product, distribution.
okay. I like that. It's easy to break
Yeah,
down.
easy to remember.
Do you, do you have any like best resources for entrepreneurs or like women to get their company off the ground?
So I think the best thing you could do is peer mentorship. Talk to other entrepreneurs who've gotten their businesses off the ground. Talk to them about the tools they're using, the tech they're using, the freelance talent that they're using, the way they're
Hmm.
finding that freelance talent. A lot of it is peer mentorship. I think that the best tool is to talk to other people.
Okay, love that. So switching gears a little bit, you are a busy mom. You have a lot going on. So I'd love to dig in here. Like you've had such a successful career and I feel like you've managed to do it all and you make it look very easy. But I want to ask you like what's the hardest part in trying to balance both? And I say balance, but I feel like it's a catch 22. I ask most of my sort of like mom entrepreneurs if you will, and they say that there is no balance. So
Right.
I'm just curious like what your thoughts and perspective is.
It's all about deciding what to be good at certain points and being good at that. So it's like, I'm going to be 100% present with you during this podcast. 10 a.m. Eastern, my kids are in school. I told you I turned off the Bluetooth in my phone and my iPad so that my AirPods wouldn't get distracted with other stuff. I'm not
Mhm.
on Slack. I'm not answering work emails. I'm 100% present with you in this conversation. I think learning the lesson of being 100% present is a very
Mhm.
difficult lesson. And as a mom of two and a career mom of two, it is the single most important lesson you'll learn. So when I'm with my kids and I'm doing their homework, I'm 100% present. It's blocked on my
Mhm.
calendar. I'm not on Slack. I'm not on work email. I'm not on a phone call trying to like multitask and do their homework and help them at the same time. It's be 100% present in what you do and give people the time and attention that they deserve, and then go to the next thing. So do few things and do them one at a time and do them really well. So, when I'm at night, I often block time every single day because I can't get through my inbox because I have meetings and I have to be present in
Mhm.
those. And I have podcasts and interviews and homework to do with my kids and dinner to make for my family. And so I keep up with my email during different time blocks during the day, but I can't get through everything every day ever. So every single evening, I dedicate time to go through my inbox and spend quality time responding to people in a thoughtful manner.
Yeah. I actually completely agree with you. I feel like doing something 100% is like just more productive. I think there's a time and a place for multitasking.
Yeah,
Fine. You're around the house with your kids. You want to
right,
clean, you want to like cook, do something.
right.
Fine. But I think when it comes to work and mom life, it's actually a great tip. And I found that in my own experience, like getting really frustrated, like still having
Mm,
Parker here, like kind of running around with like a chicken with his head cut off, and me trying to voice note my business partner,
yeah.
trying to like post on Instagram. Like it doesn't work well. And then, right, you just get frustrated and, so I completely agree
You
with
don't
you.
do
I'm on the same
anything well.
page.
So, like, there's a time for
Right.
multitasking. When you're on a work call and you're Windexing the bathroom, it's okay because you're listening to the phone call and you're talking and you can Windex at the same time and clean the bathroom. It's okay. But,
100%.
when you're doing what I call deep work and thinking and strategy, you have to give it your full time and attention.
Mhm. Totally, totally. So this next question is a bit of a selfish question, and
Mm.
it's something that I have shared with you, and it's a question about going from 1 child to 2 and what the hardest part is because I am expecting.
And you're
I am
glowing, and
through
I could tell from the minute I saw you.
I couldn't believe that you knew, and
I
then
have
you
a
guessed that I was having a girl.
I know I really have an insane sense of intuition. I've always had this, and I know it sounds very hokey and bizarre, but the moment we got on the podcast, I told you, I'm like, you're having a baby. Like, I just knew it. I could feel the energy. I could just feel it across Zoom, which is
Oh
even
my
more
gosh.
bizarre. We weren't even in person.
It's really bizarre.
So going
It's
from
really
one kid to
bizarre.
two, I love that. I had my kids very close together. So my kids are less than 2 years apart.
Okay.
They are 2 years apart minus 4 days. And so I think it's amazing that they have company. I think that's the single best advantage is that
Mhm,
two kids can keep each other busy. They can play chess together when they get older. They can play ping pong together. They can listen to music together. They can,
mhm,
do activities together. They can play tennis together. Like there's so much they can do together. And I love that they have
mhm.
company. And I love that inbound support system and friendship. um, I think that in terms of parenting, it's more work for sure. Um, but I think incrementally, it's not as much work. Like if
Okay.
you're making food for both of them. And if you're getting them ready for bed, you get them on the same schedule
Mhm,
and you get them ready for bed. Like it's some point you can get them on the same schedule and it becomes a lot easier. And it's not 1 plus 1 equals 2. It's 1 plus 1/2 at some point that equals 2. You're doing half
right.
the work for that incremental second child.
Totally. That actually breaks it down, like, really nicely and not in a so overwhelming way,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I really appreciate that. So, thank you. Thank you for offering
Yes.
that. And I guess,
And I'm
like,
excited
whether
for
you're a new
you.
Thank you, thank you. When I think too far ahead, that's when the overwhelm sort of sets in,
Mhm.
but for now, we go day to day, like, I feel like I have things under control with 1, so we'll get there. So I guess, like, whether you're a new mom or whether you're a mom that's maybe taken a career break and
Mhm.
they're ready to dive back in, I just feel like that could be really intimidating for a lot of women. Like, do you have any advice there?
I think that you need to set yourself up for success, not failure. So this notion of like being a martyr and saying like, "Oh my god, I have to go back to work," and jumping in back full time, like I don't recommend
Mhm,
that. I think that um you need to phase your way in. You really need to like be kind and patient with yourself. You just gave birth to a human and you need to
mhm,
put that in perspective and you need to listen to your body and understand your own needs when it comes back to going back to work. So I think there's some version of a transitional plan that has to occur at home and at work. So it needs to be this phased in approach of handling things one at a time as you can, bite off what you can
mhm.
chew, start going back to work a few hours a day or a day a week or then 2 days a week. Like phase in approach and be kind to yourself and listen to your body. And when it's not, when it's feeling like too much, retreat and, work on a different schedule. And I think that that's really important. I think diving in and expecting yourself to just jump back into your career in an old way when you've had a child and your body's going through so many changes, your family's
Mhm.
going through so many changes, your hormones are going through some changes, is not a recipe for success.
Yeah,
Be kind and
absolutely, and
patient
I
with
love
yourself.
definitely. I That completely resonates with me, and I love that advice. It's right. It's not going back in like 100%. And at the end of the day, like things fall on the mom. A lot falls on the mom,
Yes.
and so I think that's realistic advice.
Yep.
So switching gears, tell us what's new with Wander.
Yeah, we just launched Pack Up and Glow. This was a 3-year journey on launching an incredibly multitasking SPF. So this protects against UVA, UVB. It's a mineral SPF 40. It prevents against blue light and environmental aggressors as well. It prevents photo aging and moisture loss. It perfects the skin. It gives a gorgeous glow. I put it on the weekend and I just leave the house because I don't feel like I need to put anything else on my face. It
Mhm.
has a satin finish, which primes the face in case you want to put makeup on top. I have a little Duelist under eye concealer today to protect you from the scariness of my under eye bags. And really, this is just an incredible formulation. People who like mineral sunscreens tend to be really turned off by the white cast that you get with this. This does not have a white cast at all. We have a proprietary technology and encapsulation technology that we put around the molecule that allows us to use a lower level of zinc oxide and titanium dioxide, but yet have an SPF 40 at the same time. And we use a non-nano zinc oxide, and those are physical sunscreen filters that really protect the outer barrier and block sunlight from coming in. It also doesn't have the drying aspects that you see from a mineral sunscreen, and it doesn't have the greasiness and the oily residue that you get with a chemical sunscreen. So this is like a total unicorn. I literally call it our unicorn, and it's been doing phenomenally well for us. So we're so excited for all the consumers who've taken a bet on buying Pack Up and Glow Mineral SPF 40. It's enriched with so many wonderful ingredients like vitamin D, an antioxidant complex, which is powered by green tea. It's got hyaluronic acid. It's really just a powerhouse that I have in my arsenal and I use every day, sometimes multiple times a day.
Okay, cool, cool. It sounds incredible. And is it one like shade
Yes,
or are
it's
there
one
multiple or
universal,
how does
and
it
so
work? It's one shade. Wow.
it's not a tinted sunscreen. It just
Okay.
has a peachy, glowy luminosity to it, which is flattering on
Okay.
every skin tone. And even the fairest of the fair who were like afraid, like of seeing that, they were like, "Oh, is this peach going to look yellow on me, or is it going to look white?" It literally leaves a golden glow on your face. It looks beautiful on every skin tone.
Okay, cool. Well, I can't wait to try it.
Yes,
You know that I'm such a lover of your lip retreat. I have it on right
yes, I
now.
love lip
Skinny
retreat.
dip. Skinny dip is my shade and
Yes.
it's all over my Instagram reels. So this isn't like a shameless wander plug. This is legit, guys.
I'm telling you.
Um,
And skinny dip is literally the most popular shade and people love it. We also, if you love skinny dip, you might really also like tan lines, which is
I
beautiful.
tried tan line. It's funny you say that. I tried tan lines for a dinner that I had for an event and it was perfect because it was like a little notch up from skinny dip. So
Yeah, I love it.
big
I love that you love it.
fan.
Lip Retreat is
Yes.
just a powerhouse. And if you
Yeah.
have, dry lips and you want the shine of a gloss without the stick of a gloss and you want real nourishment and real active ingredients to nourish your lips, Lip Retreat is the way to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what's the beauty and morning routine looking like these days? Is it quick and easy? Like,
It's
what's the deal?
all
I know you're
quick
down in
and
Miami, so
easy.
it's a little
Yeah.
different
I
maybe.
I get up in the morning. I don't wash my face in the morning. I wash my face in the evening. I splash my face with lukewarm water, not too hot, not too cool. I then use our Sightseer vitamin C concentrate because for me, I think antioxidant protection is super important. You want to do that under your sunscreen because it actually bolsters the effect of the SPF. And then I go in right with Pack Up and Glow. So I have this one step, which is my Sightseer concentrate, which has vitamin C and it also has hydration in it because it has hyaluronic acid. And that nourishes, protects, and hydrates my face. And then I put the SPF on top, which is going to protect me from UVA, UVB, blue light. And then I'm good. So I kind of go through my day with just those two products. If I want to add makeup because I'm seeing you on Zoom, then I put a little upgraded lashes on my lashes and give them
Yeah.
that great volume and curl and length at the same time. I'll throw on a little lip retreat or on the glow blush and illuminator and sienna sunset, which is my favorite kind of like peachy nude for medium skin tones on my lips and my cheeks. And my duelist concealer in the shade medium or golden medium, depending on how tan I am. And that's what I do. I'm really like effortless and easy.
Yeah, quick and easy. I love it. Well, Divya, we could talk to you literally for days, but we are rounding out with one of our last questions for you. And that is, what's like a last word of wisdom, tip of advice, or something that you like really want to leave our audience with today?
I think the best piece of advice I can give everybody listening to this is don't be hard on yourself. Like, compare yourself to your best and your potential. Don't be focused on everyone else's Instagram because that's their highlight reel. And you're going through everyday
Yes.
challenges, and don't be hard on yourself. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. But the fact that you power through and really focus on moving the ball forward and achieving your own personal best, that's the best thing you can do for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you said the highlight reel aspect because I feel like I've been talking about that nonstop lately.
Yeah,
It's not
everyone
real
makes
life.
pregnancy look amazing on Instagram, and I'm like, I didn't feel that way. I didn't look that way. But I'm like, that's someone else's journey, not mine.
Absolutely, and I totally relate to that because, I'm 17 weeks now, but up until 15 weeks, I was at home, no energy, sick, vomiting in the early weeks, but we don't really get to share any of
Right.
that for so many reasons, and also, like, I don't really wanna share that,
Right.
like, after the fact. I kinda wanna forget about that.
100%.
So, yeah, it's a journey,
Do
but
you.
what's next? Exactly, do you. What's next for you? Is there anything, like, exciting coming up for you or for Wander?
Stay
Anything?
tuned. I'm on Instagram at D Gugnani. So it's DGUGNANI. And we're at Wander underscore beauty. And I'm very excited about things that are going to be happening in the coming months and this fall. So stay tuned for the journey.
Awesome. Well, we can't wait to keep up with you. This was a brilliant episode. Thank you, as always, for being with us again, and we'll have you back anytime.
Amazing. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And thank you guys all so much for listening. If you found value from this episode, please share it with a friend. Tag us on Instagram at The Big Move Podcast and at Monday_Network. We love to hear your feedback, and we'll catch you next time.